Here Now Live, number 29. Grateful for being here. Gratitude for this space and this moment. So light out. And until then. Jason, good to see you in the chat. How are you feeling today? Just Sean, good to see you in the chat. What is up, King? Moderator gang. Jason, I'm feeling good. Thank you for asking. Feeling good. Grateful once again. Grateful to be here in this chat. It's so interesting having being live here once a week because I was so used to doing it 3 times a week. So when I come back on YouTube, I'm like, whoa, feels like I haven't done this in forever. Just Sean, how are you feeling today? Eddie, good to see you in the chat. Shout out, Eddie. How are you feeling, Eddie? I got a new song. I made it up. I make up all of them. Here's a new one. Queen. You're gonna start doing yoga at the gym? Shout out, Eddie. That's how we do it. Yo, I encourage everyone to do yoga. I sometimes feel like when I take off some days, I'm like, man, I miss yoga. But I know it's good to take off. So highly encourage it. Congrats, Eddie. Let me know how you like it. Amazing. Just Sean, I reunited with my spa at the river yesterday. I'm still high off of that. Wow. Yes, I remember you telling me about that river, Sean. Congrats. I would just like to say, like, wow, I love that. I love those moments when we go to our happy places. I encourage you to go as often as you can. So glad that you did that. Eddie, I'm doing great, Morcie. Great to be here in the Here Now Livestream. Yes, much love, much love. Gratitude being back here in the Here Now Livestream space. Deshaun, your cam looks like there's a dreamy effect. Kind of cool. Ooh, that is cool. Because the time changed, the sun is out right now, and it's probably affecting my normal lighting. But I like that. I'll take that dreamy effect. I like the vibe. Oh, I gotta put my little pyramid here. Hey, so glad and grateful to see y'all in the chat. It's really nice to see how everyone is stepping into these spaces of taking care of yourselves. We got Eddie with the yoga, just Sean chilling by the river. Jay's son is a Here Now nomad, traveling to every platform. Shout out. Everyone on here actually is a Here Now nomad. Shout out to the Here Now nomads. Shout out. It's so cool. I appreciate that. Once again, it's always letting me know that this space is, it's doing what it's meant to do. It's doing what it is meant to do. It is also, the moon is waning. So at this time where, the full moon was out, right? So when there's a full moon, the full moon illuminates all that needs to be seen. So any of our habits, our thoughts, our emotions, it'll illuminate it. So we might feel things a little bit more intense than we're used to feeling them. And which is important. That's what allows us to see what it is we'd like to shift in our lives, or what we'd like to state gratitude for. And and now the moon is waning, and I just realize the more I'm in flow with the moon, just another aspect of interconnectedness with all things. It allows, just in my personal life, and I'm sure for many others who flow with the moon and who honor the phases and the energy of the moon, you allow yourself to be more accepting of what the present moment calls for, right? So I know during the week of the full moon, I had to rest. And there was a part of me that was resisting that because I felt like I was in this momentum. And I was like, no, I don't want to ruin the momentum. Then I realized I really needed that rest. Rest is recharge, and sometimes, you know, when we're in a yang energy, right? The action, the boldness, like all of that action, it could charge you up. But then there will be moments where life is like, all right, slow down. It's like when you're driving in a car, you're racing. Like, I've never raced in a car, but I just noticed, like, you can hit the gas, but there's often times where the car has to slow down in order to speed up, right? If you drive automatic or something like that, or even in manual, that will happen. But if you drive manual, you'll notice that a lot more than automatic, right? Sometimes you got to slow down. You got to flow with the ebb and flow of life. Honor the yin and yang energies that arise. And that kind of came up. Jason, nice to be back at the Here Now homeland. Indeed, shout out to the homeland. We are on Here Now number 29. That's crazy. 29? 29 lives. 29 deep, conscious conversations. Lots of space. Lots of nowness. I just made up that word. Nowness. Man, I couldn't be more grateful for this. Thank you all once again for being a part of this. Thank yourselves for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you're here and Here Now Live. Having a shift in consciousness. Challenging ourselves in ways that we may not have before. Becoming aware of patterns we may not have been fully aware of. Learning to accept them with grace and with gratitude, with ease and with calm, with dignity and stoicism. Indeed, 29 is indeed wild. Wild. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. I got a topic here for everyone. A nice, good old topic, balancing structure and flexibility while staying present, finding your flow. This is all about bringing your awareness to your day-to-day life and your schedule. Bringing your awareness to what you're giving your awareness to, right? Because our awareness is so powerful, right? Before we do that, actually, let's take a quick little one conscious breath meditation before we get into that. It's nice to a little bit of space throughout the day. So wherever you are, take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. Bring your awareness to your heart center and be there. Thank yourself for that practice. Thank yourself for one conscious breath. Thank yourself for that meditation. Put this up. I use books as my standing pose so we could see. There we go. There we go. Structure and flexibility in our day-to-day. Learning the ebb and flow of life. Learning how to truly flow with life. This is how I see flow, right? Flow is that balance between discipline and surrender. Flow is the balance between effort and surrender, right? And I know we might use the word often, right? Oh, I just want to flow. I'm just going to flow. I'm going to flow throughout the day, right? And I do find that the word flow, the more that I give awareness to how it's used and just different questions that I ask or maybe someone asks me, there's different definitions to that, right? Because when we're talking about finding a balance between structure and flexibility and staying present, right? This is specifically when we set goals and intentions for ourselves, right? What's coming up is a new moon. That's a powerful energy. When the new moon is here, that means it's a great moment to dive into all of the intentions you had set. Because right now is a time where we're doing a lot of releasing, a lot of awareness, a lot of shifts and releasing, making space and inviting in new projects, new things. I mean, obviously we can do that whenever we want. Whenever you feel called to, you can do that. It's just another, I mentioned the moon because I would say it's very prevalent in allowing you to understand the flow of life. And if you ever feel there's a block, just know there's often things, all things in the universe, the way the universe works is all things are interconnected. They're interrelated. They're interdependent. So certain things are happening for reasons that are outside of your hands, but always know it's happening for you. Sometimes these times when we feel like something is slow or, things like that, it's probably saving you from a situation you didn't need to be in. And this is why having the foundation of being here now is vital. I think, in my opinion, presence is the foundation for all practices within the realm of spirituality. I do. We can talk about any topic in spirituality. We can talk about the moon. We could talk about astrology. We could talk about beings in other realms. But I find that prioritizing presence and being here now allows us to honor everything. Allows us to honor both the physical and the spiritual, right? Often we feel this need to, we might feel this need to escape. I want to go to another dimension, or meaning another planet, right? Or something like that, or another realm. That's not the physical realm, but I find that Earth is definitely our home. We're meant to be here in the physical, have fun in the physical. Create, manifest, do your thing, embrace it here. We came here for a reason. We came here to feel a spectrum of emotions. Allow them to flow. Allow them to be. Notice them. Thank them. It's all a part of this experience here in the physical realm. Shout out to Earth. Shout out to the physical realm. You'd be surprised of what you can influence. El Chico, what's up, moderator gang? Good to see you here. Yeah, there's so much we can influence. We're unaware of what we're influencing. And I think, quick story, yesterday I watched Interstellar with my friends. And it was so interesting. I think there's so many aspects of that film that popped out, but I would say what came to me was that everything around us is everything around you is you, right? The signs that you see, signs that you receive, insights, Whether the best that I can take away from is like, everything is you. Your entire world is a reflection of you. And I'm just going to keep it there, right? Yeah, everything is a reflection of us. Keep it there. Keep it there. I'll dive into that a little bit more. But that's a word I really felt, and I've been meditating on that. It's like we know these things. We know these things. So the more we continue to put one foot in front of the other, it deepens, right? Many of us in some form on an intellectual level, we know that everything around us is the way we perceive it, right? Everything around us is us. And so I find that when we are aware of that, we can be more in tune with our intuition. We can be more in tune with our inner self, our own inner wisdom, and we are less likely to feel dependence on others, right? Dependent on the thoughts of others or things like that. It's always good to take, I would say, advice and be open, right? But it's the difference between having that deepened relationship with self, right? Trusting yourself above all else, right? Affirm. Trusting yourself above all else, indeed. Cheers to that. Mystic, thanks for being here right now. Mystic, thank you for being here. I appreciate the positivity. I appreciate the presence. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Before we get started, I just forgot. I literally forgot. Everyone, thank yourselves for being here right now. Thank yourselves. Make sure you put thank you at your name in the chat. Being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself. All right. Thank you for getting up this morning, for taking care of yourself, for feeding yourself. If you had to work today, thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. All righty. I found that there's such great power in thanking ourselves, right? Sometimes we might tell ourselves good job, and we might have in fact done a great job. But what I've recognized is often that can lead to a form of competition within ourselves, right? Nothing wrong with a little bit of competition, right? Nothing wrong with that. But when we begin to shift more into a habit of thanking ourselves, we are more likely to bring our awareness to what is here right now, right? Rather than what we think the moment is supposed to be, right? What we think the moment is supposed to be like. And that's why I encourage y'all to thank yourselves. Thank yourselves for being here. Thank yourselves for showing up for yourself. Much love, much love. It's insane how much we limit ourselves just from our sense of identity. It's that attachment of identity for sure when we're limiting ourselves in that way. Yeah, knowing that you are more than just one identity, right? You're more than just one responsibility in your life. Hot yoga at the gym. It's not a yoga studio. Oh, that's all good. It doesn't need to be a yoga studio, Eddie. Oh, I made you want to do yoga. Namaste. Namaste. Eddie, let me know how it goes. That's nice that your gym has hot yoga. I like that. That's cool. I didn't know there were gyms that had because I go to a studio. So it's made for that. So that's cool that the gym has hot yoga. Do you know what style it is, Eddie? Just curious. Darren Avery, welcome to Here Now Live. Thank you for being here. Hey, here to receive peace and high vibrational energy. Thank you, Darren, for being here for this present moment and at the right time, right place. Yes. Much love, Darren, and thank you for thanking yourself in the chat. Thank you for the vibrations. Alrighty. Gotcha. All right, Eddie. No, I meant to say yoga studio, not the gym. Ah, okay. All right, there we go. Going back and forth. All right, cool. Yoga studio, that's legit. When you go to a yoga studio, oh, you're a yogi. Yeah. Well, you can see it with others when you congratulate them for being something, or at least trying. Next time they do better. Yes. Shout out to that. Indeed, right? When you say thank you, you showed up, or like honoring the simplicity of what was done, right? In that moment, rather than the judgment of how it was done, right? It's framing. Instead of telling yourself, I'm dumb because I forgot that, you tell yourself, oh, good. I remembered, and it makes a huge difference. Oh, yes. Cheers to that. Right? Cheers to that. It allows you to shift your mindset to a more present perspective, right? The perspective is more of a here and now perspective, rather than getting so stuck up on a past identity, or it's actually the identity you created of yourself. It's the identity we have created of ourselves. Yes. I had a very deep experience the other day with my thoughts in my mind, and I was seeing just something, how our thoughts continuously in our mind, when we say the word program, it's real. When I was observing my mind and the thoughts that were flowing through it, it seemed very robotic. The same thought was repeating over and over and over until I was aware enough to shift it. And then actually just step out and observe it. It was oh my goodness, it was an interesting experience. Very grateful for that experience. Like I was telling you, it's a full moon. So a lot of things were illuminated in that moment. But great point. OC? I'm going to say OC. Quicker. Alrighty. So I saw El Chico ask the question, the definition between structure and flexibility. I got that for you all. All right, ready? We're diving into the topic now. I enjoy your comments and your updates with me, letting me know how life is going, the steps you're taking, the decisions you're making. It doesn't matter what they are. Thank yourself. Alrighty, balancing structure and flexibility while staying present, finding your flow. So I wrote a little something down, right? All right? So structure. Structure refers to being more organized. It's more of an organized, and we can call it a rigid approach. It's a little more rigid. It's very direct, I would say, more structured and direct. Where goals are defined in detail, timelines are set, and specific actions are planned out. That is structure, right? This approach provides a clear roadmap towards achieving a specific goal. Right? It gives that structure that is very necessary. But what it can do is limit our creativity. It can limit the spontaneity. But at the same time, before I even say any pros and cons about structure, I want to, one second, Queenie Beanie. I like to honor it, because I feel like in many, especially if any of you find yourselves to be this creative mind, like, not that we're not all creative, but a lot of people who tend to be, I would say, into wanting to just flow, structure does get a bad reputation. OMG. All right, I'm just going to leave her there. Structure does get a bad reputation. So, based on that definition with structure, does that align with your definition of structure, or how would you describe structure? Let me know in the chat. How would you describe structure? Queenie Bee. Yeah. I find that I'll just say within structure, right? If I can give a couple words that quickly describe it with structure. Structure in our day-to-day, right? Great question, OC. When I'm talking about structure, I'm meaning structure in our day-to-day lives. Structure within goal setting, structure within our routine. That's what I mean by structure. Great question. Our day-to-day lives, many times there are goals that we set. We set goals, we set intentions. There's visions that arise within our mind. This is an aspect of honoring the visions that arise and materializing them into this world, right? Whether you are an entrepreneur, content creator, you're a business owner, or you're looking to make certain transitions and changes in your life and being more intentional about it. Often we might create some form of structure in our day-to-day routines. And so I'll just say for myself, when I define structure, I think of the words focus, direction, and organization. 3 words. Focus, direction, and organization. Right here. Actually, this crystal that I'm wearing right here too, it's a blue quartz crystal. And blue quartz crystals hold the energy and the consciousness to influence that sense of organization within you. So I appreciate that. Sometimes I can be a little bit and I'd like to honor the aspect of myself that would like to be organized. So there goes structure. Now when it comes to flexibility, right, I'll define flexibility for everyone. Flexibility allows for a more adaptable and fluid approach, right? When we're talking about our day-to-day routine, adaptable and fluid, where goals may be more broadly defined, timelines may be more flexible, and actions may be adjusted as circumstances change. This approach provides more room for creativity and innovation, but it also leads to a lack of focus or direction, right? So when we're talking about flexibility in our day-to-day, right, what it looks like is having that spontaneity, is having that space for the creativity to arise. There's that openness, right? And I would say it's more adaptable. So here are some words: adaptability, fluidity, and spontaneity. I like that. Adaptability, fluidity, and spontaneity. Those three words. I am Shibi Halito, wholeness and power. Much love to you. Grateful to see you here in the chat. Ronan, peace to all. Much love to you, Ronan. Grateful to see you in the chat. Much love to the Here Now community. Much love to the chat. We're opening up a conversation around our day-to-day and our relationship with our day-to-day and our schedules, right? So in the community section yesterday, I just wanted to see it generally, how everyone feels around goal setting or setting intentions, right? So I want to ask you all in the chat, how often do you set intentions for yourself? Or how often do you set goals for yourself? Is it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, or never? Rarely or never, right? And when I say goals, goals are more direct. When we talk about SMART goals, goals are direct and specific, and intentions are more broad. They're like, today I intend to eat healthy, a little bit more looser. So one's more flexible, one's more structured. But my question for y'all is, how often do you set intentions or goals for yourselves? Jason, daily mini goals. Cheers to that. Daily mini goals. A little bit goes a long way. A little bit every day, it goes such a long way. And I find that when we do set those goals and intentions, especially daily, it allows us to be more aware of where our attention is going, where our energy is flowing. Our attention and our energy, highest currency of all. Of any currency that exists on this planet, the highest is your intention and your awareness. Mystic each day, all right? Daily goal setters, all right? Cheers. And also in the chat, if you don't set any daily goals or anything, it's openness here. It's openness, all right? No judgment. You don't set it, you set it yearly, monthly, doesn't matter. Allow yourself to share and express yourself. I am Shibi, daily for me as well. OC. I set goals, but often they too far away in time. But when it comes to diet, for example, I'll just do it right away. But if we talk career, etc., I imagine things in like a year or two. Alrighty. Eddie, I set them in my mind, but you're right, I'm going to write down my goals from now on, because you're right. I think it's best to be organized as possible. Yeah. When we talk about that directness, we talk about, really talking about that structure. I want to hone in on structure, because it definitely, I know from my mind, there was a point in my life where I was like, especially like OC, Colty. I'm going to say OC. I gave all of y'all some short names. OC, when it comes to those aspects with like career and goals, I share this a lot in the chat too. It's creating small goals for yourself each and every day, for anyone here on this chat, right? Especially even Eddie too, how you bring up, writing them down and being more intentional about putting one foot in front of the other and actually seeing them through, right? What that looks like, a part of that energy, it's that yang energy, that bold energy, the energy of action, the energy of that movement. When we step into that energy and that energy field, what happens, a great way to step into that and build a sense of momentum is creating goals that are reachable. It's very important, reachable goals, right? Because when we're setting goals that are far too big, that we can only see, too far away, then we're not actually making the efforts to do things now, to enjoy in the moment now, to get into a rhythm of being present with ourselves and being present with ourselves in the process, taking those baby steps and understanding our own flow in the moment. When it comes to this idea of structure, right? It's up to us to create that. No one defines it for you. You define what structure looks like in your life. What does directness, what does focus, and what does organization look like to you? And how does that fit the most in your life, right? How does that fit the most in your life? And when you're setting goals that are reachable each week, right? Even the simplest goals, you're seeing yourself follow through. And each day it's like you have a brick. I heard this example. You're building a house, and each day you're putting one brick and one brick and one brick, and you begin to enjoy yourself in the process. Enjoy yourself in the process, right? OC feels counterproductive to see things too far away because you don't think you have to act on it now. And if you don't feel like that's accessible now either, at least from my experience. Yeah. Great point, right? It's nice to have our year goals, our 5-year plan, right? But it's important to leave room for flexibility, right? And often too, like you said, if it's so far away, then we don't make the steps to act on it now. Often the dream just stays a dream, right? The vision remains a vision. It remains in another realm. It never gets materialized and never gets materialized and transformed into the physical realm, right? Great point. Adrian, good to see you in the chat. Welcome back. How are you feeling? Yes. So I like to share this because balance is a huge theme, I would find. And balance is a word that I'd like to, continuously use in this space, because the balance of the structure and the flexibility, it allows us to flow. For me, that's what I see flow as being, often when there's not enough direction, when there is not enough organization and focus, it becomes chaotic. And it becomes chaotic, and you don't see things through in the moment. There's no organization, right? And so that's where I find the importance of that. And now we're balancing it with that flexibility, where it opens up for the spontaneity, right? It opens up for that creativity. It opens up for fluidity and adaptability. And having that balance, having that harmony is what allows us to flow, right? And often when it comes to this, I like to say, bring it back. We can easily many times step into that flow by stepping into the present moment. And what does that look like? It means stopping for a second and being still, right? Coming back. We might need a little bit of stillness, and recognizing, what do we need in the moment? Recognize, what does the moment call for the most? Does the moment call for a little bit more introspection? Does it call for a little bit more action, right? And when you create and build a habit of that sense of awareness, of being aware enough, that allows you to find your flow. And it switches. It's going to switch every day. It's going to switch every week, every month. And that's what we call, when we say, how can I surrender and flow with the universe? A big aspect of that is getting to know your patterns, getting to know, what are your current habits? What are they? Where are you putting your awareness and your attention? Where are you focusing your energy? What habits are still there, right? What ideas might you be clinging to, or might you be attached to, right? What boundaries might you have to set? What might have to be released? I know these are a lot of questions, but, just going on with the flow of that. Yes, things change, we change. We should be flexible. Indeed, there's that balance. So I wanted to open it up and give you all that that summary. So I actually have a question for y'all. I brought this topic up, but here's an easy yes or no question. So how has anyone in the chat ever felt like there was a challenge within your life between structure and flexibility? Has there ever been a challenge in your life between structure and flexibility and your daily routine? Adrian feeling okay, just minorly triggered. Thank you for sharing, Adrian. Sending you peace, love, continued presence, and wholeness. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here and for showing up. Thank yourself for noticing. Much love. Jason, for sure. Ronan, I've attached myself to goals and outcomes, and that causes problems for me. Being present and doing what I'm doing for the love of it feels much better. Cheers to that, Ronan. And what you just brought up is a big reason why I'm sharing this topic. Big reason why I'm sharing this topic. Because it is that attachment often in our relationship with goal setting and outcomes. And I know I've had a couple conversations, and I find that even the word goal, with many, there has been stories attached to it that we may not, want to set them at all. We never set them, right? And I find that, within that, it does create a gap with the organization, right? With the focus and direction. If there's not a full awareness around our, awareness of that, but for sure, often that attachment to the goal, it pulls us away from the present moment. We then begin to feel as though what our goal is what's supposed to make us feel happy, right? That reaching that goal is what's supposed to make us feel happy, but that's not necessarily it, right? It's actually exactly what you said, Ronan, doing it for the love of it, doing it for that enjoyment, for the moment, for feeling the awareness of the doing fully in that moment, right? I like to say that presence is intimacy with all moments. And when you find yourself fully engaged in the moment, fully aware, fully in connectedness with the moment, that's when you find yourself present. That's when you find that there is no separation between you and the moment. Everything is the moment, right? And so, and that's a huge reason why I brought this up. Yes, thank you for sharing. Yeah, although I'm still going to start writing down my goals and equilibrium balance. Yes, it's still equilibrium and balance, right? Yes, and awareness of that. Step out of the mind and into presence, indeed. And so, thank you. I am Shibi. Cheers to that. Also, Eddie, cheers to that. When we are setting these intentions, right? Because we have moments like in the world where it's like, I have this idea, right? When we're materializing, planning is inevitable in the process to plan in some form or some way. Maybe even if it's a quick plan, but somehow we can't escape planning in our life, right? It's a part of being here in the physical realm. And if you don't plan, you don't plan. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to presence and when it comes to planning, that's actually a big question around the present moment, right? Does being present mean that you can't plan, that you don't think about the future, that you're not supposed to think about that potential aspect of another moment, right? The whole idea, and I would say the importance of planning is to give you direction for the moment, right? So it's not you're not aimlessly moving, you're not aimlessly searching, but at the very least you're having a direction, and within that direction you can allow yourself to have flexibility. You can allow yourself to open up and be adaptable and be fluid and allow your creativity to flow free, right? And so in that moment, we're stepping out of the mind. So we've made that plan. Okay, so the plan is I would like to create a video to share for everyone. I would like to share this moment of, I would like to share a video diary, or I would like to share a concept that I just realized and that I find that has been helpful in my life. I'd like to share a form of philosophy, whatever it might be, right? Some form of creation that involves planning and a step-by-step process, right? So now that we have the structure and the direction, and we might even have a goal, right? Oh, I'm going to do this by Friday. Now we're opening up and allowing for flexibility. And I find that within that process, we allow ourselves to step in and be fully present, because we have the comfort of knowing where we're going. And now we also have the comfort of knowing that we can flow freely, right? In putting one foot in front of the other, right? And like I said, that balance of structure and flexibility, that balance of organization and fluidity, the balance between directness and adaptability, all that, it looks different for all of us. And so in this live, my intention is to encourage you to think about that and encourage you to be intentional about that, right? And allowing us to step into our greatest selves and really hone in on presence. Many times we might come here and there may not be I would say a motivation to invite presence into your life. It's the truth. Like, often with us, we might hear like, wow, that sounds awesome, Morcie. Stepping out of the mind and into presence. That sounds beautiful, right? Yeah, that's so true. Life is now. Life is now. And it sounds great. But then the actual stepping into the practice, the integration of that, the openness into it, the encouraging yourself and setting intention to be more present and to honor presence more. It may not happen because there is not a reason, or the reason does not affect you enough, right? There is not a reason that affects you enough to say, right? And so often when we are setting goals, when we are setting intentions, we can see clearly and easily why we need to be more present throughout the process, right? We can see more clearly and easily why it's important to invite in presence, to be with the self, to be an observation of thoughts, to be an observation of emotions. We see it because we're like, wow, I noticed that this thought pattern affects the process. I see how it's affecting the process. I see how it's holding me back. I recognize the self-sabotage. I recognize the self-doubt. I recognize that I would like to invite more courage into my life and more certainty into my life, right? And so that awareness, once again, that awareness, it opens up space for us to say, all right, so what does it mean to me to balance my life while simultaneously ensuring that I'm present, that I'm not attached, right? And it sounds like a lot, it may sound like a lot as we chat about it and go into detail more and more about it. But when we just step back and just open ourselves up to that, it's easier. It's easier, you know? Much love to the chat. Much love to the chat. Gratitude for the encouragement and the inspiration in the chat. This is community, y'all. This is community. We're coming here. We're learning together. I want to thank y'all for your vulnerability. I want to thank y'all for opening up. I want to thank y'all for the space, right? Learning requires vulnerability, right? It requires for us to see, be open and see and know in places where we don't know, right? To be open and say, oh wow, right? I didn't recognize that about myself. I didn't realize that about myself. So now I'll make certain steps and certain changes, right? In order to see things through, right? So much love to the chat. I am Shivi. My innermost sense of self is inseparable from stillness. That is my essential nature. Cheers to that. And this is when it comes in, right? Day to day. I'll tell y'all, for example, specifically one thing I do throughout my day to ensure that structure and flexibility, right? I ensure that I set aside space for stillness. I set aside space for meditation, breath work, and for consciously doing nothing, right? Doing nothing. We're never absolutely doing nothing, but in the sense of what I like to do is I like to go outside. So for every 1.5 to 2 hours that I am working on something, I go outside for about 30 minutes to 45 to reset my mind, to step out of the perspective I was in and step into this objective reality where everything is as it is, right? To come back to what I am Shivi just beautifully shared, coming back to our innermost sense of self, right? Inseparable from stillness. Oftentimes when we're in that yang energy, right? Talking about that yin and yang, often when we're so much in it, we might get very, I would just say specifically, very in the zone with our goal or action. And it's important to balance it out and bring it back to be still for a moment, to stop moving, to invite in that slowness so that we can remember who we are. And I find that is I would say, that's a great way to ensure the continued flow and movement of the cycle of yin and yang, of structure and flexibility, of rest and action, right? Always coming back to the self, staying aligned and aware with source, right? Knowing that you're more than an identity, right? We can adopt multiple identities in this world. You're more than one. That's the whole point of us separating, right? This is a lot of, now we're going a little deep, right? We're talking about the word inseparable. We say we're inseparable, right? Although when we see here in this physical realm, everything appears separate, right? We're separate. We're individuals from all things around us. But when we have a shift in consciousness, right, we recognize there's a oneness being inseparable. And so it's just a reminder that often, right, a lot of healing, a lot of the need to heal comes from the illusion of separation. A lot of this need to heal, this healing, it comes from the illusion of separation, no matter what the healing is, whether it's in love, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in career, whether it's in whatever we need from our family, wherever the healing needs to come from, it comes from the illusion of separation, right? And that breaks down, from bit. It breaks down into a lot of other branches of a tree, how I see it. But a lot of that comes from that. And so the more still we are, that illusion begins to dissolve. And we recognize oneness. And we have this very natural sense of peace. We have this very natural sense of knowing that our thoughts are not our own. And that we don't have to take them personal. right? And that when we set goals for ourselves, it does not mean we don't have to create a sense of identity out of ourselves if we don't reach the goal, or if it doesn't happen in the expectation and the idea that we set in our mind, right? But just the knowing that you set a goal, the knowing that you had a direction, a focus, right? Already is a shift there. Setting gratitude for the fact that you even tried in those moments, right? Stating gratitude for the fact that you even tried. That's bringing yourself back more to the present moment rather than judging yourself, right? The more you bring yourself back to this very moment, the more you align with your inner essence, your inner self. The more that illusion of separation, it dissolves. And that's awakening, right? Awakening, recognizing that you are more than this, than the individual. I would say that in a very simple sense, huh? Recognizing that you are more than just your body, and you are more than just this mind, and you're more than the things that happen to you, right? Yes, nothing else can bother you except your own mind. Yes. How we perceive the world, right? Our perception of our reality is how we're perceiving the world, right? Some might say, "Oh, you're wearing a rose-colored lenses," right? There's that saying, right? It's a lens, whether it's rose-colored or it's yellow or it's blue or it's purple. It's still a lens, and the present moment is what just is. It is what it is. It is what it is in observation. When you just say what it is without a judgment, without adding any form of synonym to it, right? And even then that gets deeper, because then that ends up going beyond language. It ends up reaching just stillness. Just stillness. So what I like to do as I'm sharing is honoring a whole journey of how we move, right? I saw this quote, and it reminded me, right? It reminds me of how, we are beyond thought, right? And often we use positive affirmations as a way of ensuring that we don't get down on ourselves. We don't fall into a negative loop of thoughts. And so we use positive affirmations. And I saw a quote, and it said something around the lines of that there's a relationship with the positive and negative thinking. I forgot exactly what it was. I'll get it for y'all next time. But ultimately what it was saying was like, don't worry about the positive or the negative. Just be aware, right? Just bring your awareness beyond it. Just notice it. And I found that, of course, that's so powerful, right? The foundation of this channel, observing the mind, being aware, just noticing, and non-reactivity, non-judgment. And simultaneously, there are those moments when we do need to, at the very least, thank ourselves. We do need to use a positive affirmation, right? For me, the way I see that is a way to allow us to relax in stillness, so that we can have more of that openness to go beyond the positive affirmation, to go beyond the thought, right? If that makes sense. Hoping that was clear in the way I explained it. And I like to honor the journey. I like to honor it. And always remind us, right? Always reminding us here and Here Now Livestream, and Here Now Livestream. Honor what you need right now. And when in doubt, just notice, right? When in doubt, just notice. Adrian, it seems hard to observe and process your dark thoughts. You bring up a great point, Adrian, right? When a thought is dark, it hurts, it feels painful. Yeah, and the negative voice, right? That negative voice, right? It's a voice. It's always going. When you're in observation, See, observation is a practice. I like to say that for one, right? Surrender is a practice. Action is a practice. Observation is a practice. Observation is a form of surrender. So when the dark thoughts are arising, we are surrendering. We are responding in non-reactivity. The response is a non-response. The response is to just be there, and same for that voice. So when we are setting the intention, right? There we go, intention to observe, we're more likely to be non-reactive. But when we're not setting intentions, we're not aware. Intention, truthfully, it allows us to bring our awareness to that aspect, right? And it does seem hard, just like you say. So that's why I encourage each and every day to set that intention to observe. In the beginning of everything, it's a little bit more tough. When you're learning a new skill, right? You're learning how to play the guitar, the piano. You're learning how to surf. You're learning a new skill for technology. You're learning just anything, right? You know, for me as a content creator, learning new softwares and how to use them. In the beginning, it seems difficult. It seems tough. When we put ourselves and create a space for us to be open and to learn without judgment, we give ourselves all the space we need, we're more likely to see it through. We're more likely to continue on with that practice of observation. We're more likely to, continuing putting one step in front of the other, right? Adrian, but what if you have a habit to take thoughts personal? How to not take it personal? Or how to process through it without taking it personal or not? Great point. Great question, Adrian. And your answer is in your question. Life is simple when you let it, right? How to not take it personal is to not take it personal, right? And I know it's like, really, Morcie, not take it personal. So what I'm saying with this is it requires a lot of space and intention. So, and this is a great point that you bring up, because this is something that I myself have been diving into. This is how I see it. I'm bringing it back. Life is a ceremony. Every moment is a ceremony. And presence is intimacy with all moments. When you set that intention every day and you say, I notice that I take these thoughts personal, and my intention is to improve my relationship with these thoughts so that when they do arise, I am not taking them personal. So each and every time that you notice that thought, you have set the intention to not take it personal, to know that that thought is not a characteristic of you. It is not you. Maybe you have unconsciously adopted that thought. We tend to do that, right? That's where we self-sabotage. That's where we end up being our own worst enemy, because we've unconsciously adopted a narrative or story that is not personal to us. It is not us. No thought is personal to us. And I was actually reminding myself of that today. Yeah. No thoughts. They're not personal to us. And maybe even it's sitting down and asking yourself that question of, what does it mean for a thought to be personal, right? Diving into that, right? Taking a thought personal is saying, that thought is me. That thought describes who I am, right? And so this is when it comes down to the power of awareness. I'm telling you, awareness is your greatest currency. And that's why I say we can listen to these very inspirational words and things like that. We feel it most when we absorb it and we integrate it in our lives. And what I would encourage to anyone here on this chat, when you find yourself in this moment where these thoughts, you're taking it personal, they keep coming at you. They keep coming. Remind yourself that surrender is a practice. Observation is a practice. You don't need to expect yourself to let it go right away, to release it right away. Because when you even notice that when you do that, it causes more stress, right? So I encourage you to simply set the intention to be aware, to take it less personally. And I'll tell you also a trick of what I do. This has helped me as in a very specific way. I actually thank the thought and I thank the emotion. I mentioned this before, right? Thanking those moments where we feel triggered. And triggers don't have to be through anger or frustration, but triggers can be anxiety, they can be worry, they could be fear. Thank them. Whatever that thought was, can thank it. Because what we're doing in that moment, and it might sound counterintuitive, it might sound counterproductive, like, Morcie, why are you telling me to thank this dark thought? It's a dark thought, right? Or an emotion, right? Because it allows you to align with the moment, in the moment. It's arising often as a form of protecting us. Every day our body, physically, in two ways, every day our body is working to ensure our survival. That's just a part of the human experience, right? Every day our body is working to ensure our survival. We have vital organs that are constantly working for us, our kidneys, our liver, our heart, our lungs. We're not even aware of it. It's working for us every day. We ate that super spicy meal, or we ate that meal that was no good, or you know what I mean, like a meal that wasn't the best for you maybe. And your body is still ensuring your survival every day, even if it wasn't the best choice, right? Our mind, it creates certain habits in order to ensure some form of protection. And that's why certain anxieties arises and certain fears arise, right? It's not like it's not normal to feel those things. It's a part of the experience to feel it. It's our relationship with it. And when we shift our relationship with it, then we don't experience them as often, or we don't experience them anymore. Not experience it anymore actually comes from noticing, right? But, it's not making it a goal. It's just showing that difference between how we shift our relationship with everything, right? So that's one, I would say, something practical, something very specific. Another specific I can give is thank it, be thankful. I had fear arise and I thanked it. I said, thank you for arising. I know you're trying to protect me. And you'll find that in the moment of thanking it, it gives you space to see it fully, right? Wholeness is a new word that I appreciate, that I find myself using. Wholeness allows us to see the fullest perspective, right? Getting out of a very narrow perspective, but seeing the perspective as a whole. And when we see things as a whole, there's less resistance. And through gratitude, we align with the moment, and therefore we are aligning with wholeness. So there goes one way, okay? I would encourage y'all to try it, right? Like I said, and we talked about this before. Acceptance is not condoning. We're not condoning. We're not saying good or bad. We're just saying thank you. I've been doing that this past week, and it has been incredible when it comes to shifting that perception of the voice within our mind, our emotions that we feel, conditioned patterns. Just thank it. Thank it. Live in a state of gratitude. That's another way of doing it. Just thank it, because it's our body is working for us every day. Our mind is working for us. And I know those dark thoughts, they suck. I know they suck. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. That is why I'm here in this space, because dark thoughts would consume me. But they were created for a reason. They're there for a reason. And so instead of creating an enemy or a villain out of something that's within us, let's allow there to be some harmony, I would say, or I would say allow there to be some form of agreement. All right, so there's less of that resistance. Try it out. Let me know, right? Breathing helps release the thoughts in peace, right? Beautiful. There's those two aspects. That's a mind-body connection. Breathing, observation of the mind. One's mental, one's more physical, right? And that physical, I always say, right? Breathing is a great channel into presence. Breathing is a beautiful channel into awareness and into noticing, right? That's why a meditation can be as simple as one conscious breath, because in that moment, that one conscious breath, it brought you right back into the isness of the moment. Your awareness of that one conscious breath brought you right back into the isness of the moment. Just for a second, it pulled you away from judgment. It pulled you away from criticism. It pulled you away from good or bad. It pulled you away from yes or no. And it just invited you into what is. What is. That's what it did. Cheers to that. Thank you. Thank you for all of that in the chat. Thank you for that question, Adrian. It's a great question. Thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. Thank yourselves each and every day. Thank yourselves. The power of thanking yourself. You know, this question, this topic that I brought up, it's an opening. I wanted to bring it up as a form of opening up the idea of this and bringing our awareness into that. And what I notice is that it always comes down to a lot of this. Just the more the space is open and we have this space and we share our ideas, so much of it always comes down to our relationship with thought. It's always it's our relationship with, right? It's those are just the ideas that come into my mind. But I'm going to, this topic will be continued on this channel. I really like it. And I'm going to continue on with this topic on this channel. Flexibility, structure, balance, and harmony within our lives. And in the practical of our day-to-day. Because the way we spend our day-to-day, where we put our awareness, right? It's a great way, being aware of that is a great way to invite more of that presence into our lives. It's a great way to actually live, continuously living a more present lifestyle, being as present as we can be, just for the sake of living, right? Just life. Like, we came here to live, right? There's that really deep question of like, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? And some of us might really think deep about it. Think about this really deep, well thought out, philosophical answer. And for me, I think it's a lot of our answers are in our questions. Like, what's the point of life? And I don't know. For me, sometimes I say it's to live. We came here to live in the physical. And that looks different for everyone. We have different purposes when we came here, but it's to live, to be here in the physical, to experience what separateness is like, right? To experience the separation, the separateness of things. We came here to experience that. And when we are aware of that and we can shift our relationship with that separation, we can truly feel a sense of fulfillment. We can feel a sense of peace. We can feel joy. We can create. We can really be here and not feel this need to escape, not feel this need to not be here, because it's all about our relationship with. And when you shift from, that, yeah, Baba. She's like, wants all my attention. Ajon. Purpose of life is inner happiness. Cheers to that. Right? When we come here, there's so much to experience, right? Living encompasses so much. It encompasses so much. And hey, we all have our different forms of what is the purpose of life, right? What is the purpose of life? There's all different forms of that. That's just my little rendition or my idea of that. Thank you for sharing. Barmine, peace and love, family. Good to see you here. You're very welcome, Adrienne. Thank you all. I want to thank you all for your questions. I want to thank you all for your vulnerability. Thank yourselves. Thank you all for your curiosity and, opening up to growing and learning. This is what this space is all about, right? You know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I shared what I thought the purpose of life was. Has anyone ever thought of that question? And if you have any form of answer for that, let me know in the chat. What do you think the purpose of life is? Just for fun. What do you think the purpose of life is? What do you think the purpose of being here is? What's the purpose? Not existing, rather living intentionally. Jason, I am Shibi, peace. Mystic, to experience God in many different forms and to have fun. Powerful responses. I appreciate those perspectives, allowing us to expand our awareness. Eddie, the purpose of the life is to create and build, learning from experiences and growing and creating a family, building things that hold value to you like wealth, art, or whatever. Ronin, to become the personification of God. It's so cool. Each time I read your response, I feel like I'm stepping into your world. Talk about experiencing God in different forms, huh? Each and every one of us, consciousness experiencing life through each and every one of us Each and every one of us with such a unique perspective. Unique perspective. No one on this planet has your very unique expression or perspective. And when you share your perspective, when you share it, you invite others to expand their awareness, to expand their perspective. Expand. Yeah. I'm Shivi. Knowledge of the absolute does not depend on the book, on one book or anything. It is absolute in it. It is absolute in itself. I find that what that brought up in my mind was the ultimate truth is not held within words or concepts, right? The ultimate truth is beyond, right? So when we talk about a belief, this is how I was able to shift my perspective with beliefs and ideas and thoughts, right? Beliefs are all small, how do I say this, right? I'm going to take it back. Quick story. I was watching an episode of Eckhart Tolle on, I think it was Oprah Super Soul Sunday. He had like 6 different episodes. No, it was one of the episodes. I think it was, probably wasn't that one. It was another one, but I saw him on Super Soul Sunday. And Oprah asked him, "What do you believe?" And he goes, "Nothing in particular." And then Oprah starts laughing. And I was like, believing nothing in particular. And I knew what he meant from that. You know, a belief ends up holding, a belief is like a story. It's a narrative. It's an attachment. You know, it tends to be an attachment to something, like belief in this idea. And then we hold an identity in that belief, right? There's so much that has been done in the name of belief, right? And in the name of what we believe in. And often when we detach from belief, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to have a mental position, right? So we're shifting the language, right? A belief versus a mental position. I find that when we're shifting the language, which is what we do here often on Here Now Live, we shift the language, it begins to shift our perspective. So if I think about a belief, often what comes with it is attachment. But if I think of a mental position, I find it's a reminder of one, it's a position, and it's of the mind. A position can be changed. In the mind, we are beyond it. Do we have mental positions? Of course we do. That happens here. You're allowed to have a form or opinion or some fashion. Yes, that's a part of being here in the physical. It is. It has to do with our relationship with it. And so when it goes to say, you know, no one holds the ultimate truth. There's so many different perspectives here when it comes to the ultimate truth. Yet the ultimate truth is in access to each and every one of us. We all have access to the ultimate truth. There's no human being that has more access to you than another, than another. The ultimate truth is here for us all. And we reach it, or let's say we realize it, because it's always here, whatever that might mean, right? The ultimate truth is stillness, right? We're doing it here and Here Now Live, right? Through stillness, through silence and spaciousness, awareness of our inner self, our innermost selves, right? That's that channel to the recognition of it. And, you know, this is why it's so important to recognize that. And so when you know that no one holds the ultimate truth, right? You don't find yourself codependent on other things, other people. When you know that not even you may hold it, I would say, when I say hold it, I mean in a way that it's like being more special than someone else, right? Special is another term that's of like the egoic mind, but like you guys know what I mean, right? when you like, there's a thought that creates that form of a very hardened ego of superiority, where it's like, I hold the ultimate truth, only listen to me. Oh. But no, it's available to all of us. It's available to absolutely all of us, and we're all experiencing it, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're even interested in having this conversation, because all of us have, in some form or some way, are lifting the veil. We're just remembering. We're remembering what we forgot. That's all. And this remembering is beyond the mind. It's beyond the mental. Alrighty. Mystic, yes, I am Shibi, thumbs up. Mystic, truly, I feel like we shouldn't try to find the purpose to life. That's a little boring, but experiencing the mystery. Cheers to that too. Eddie, hee. Yes. I think it's nice. I like to explore both. I'm not going to lie, right? Having that mystery and uncertainty, now that is fun, because we open ourselves up to, right? Infinite possibility. But sometimes it's a little fun to think about it, right? Like, what is the purpose of being here? Like, I'm sure all of us at some point have thought of that, right? I know I have, right? And this is just in those times of those states of unconsciousness, I'd be like, yo, what is the purpose of being here? Please, someone tell me, why am I here? Because right now it feels meaningless. It feels purposeless. Like, what is the meaning, right? And that's why I was just wondering, hey, has anyone thought of that question? What do you think, right? What do you, just, exploring that aspect of nature to it, of reality. And I do think it's fun to definitely for both, right? Whatever we need in the moment, whatever's most necessary in the moment, we explore it, right? Be explorers and explore that in the moment. I'm Shibi. Yes, we all have pieces of the puzzle. Mystic. Yes, we don't know it all, but in the unknown is present. Boom. Right. The more and more we recognize wholeness, we recognize that there's contradiction in so much. There's so much. Welcome to being a human. When you hear all these very wise philosophies and they're just like one after the other, it's like two truths can be same at once, and one is like I guess how do you say, like overlapping the other or negating the other. It's like, welcome to being human. That's all of life, right? It's like I heard this quote by Eckhart, and he said something around the purpose of life is to become aware of who you truly are, while at the same time, I gotta get that quote. Hold on one second. I gotta get it for y'all. Not the purpose of life, but it was something else. Like, oh man, I wonder. I can't find it. When I find it, I'm gonna post it. It was great. It was one of those quotes where it sounds contradicting. Like it sounds like so being a human being, so spiritual and physical at the same time. Like, I wish I can find it. I'm gonna let it go. Maybe it'll come to me. Mystic, yes, it's fun. It brings you right here. Yes, fam. Much love. Yes, you speaking about this makes me realize how free we are too. Freedom. Is it here? Did that girl put it here? Hey, another idea to Eckhart. The purpose of life is to be here fully, to align yourself with this moment internally, and to realize wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. And whatever you're doing in the now is what you're supposed to be doing. Hey, you are all supposed to be right here, right now on Here Now Live. You all are supposed to be here right now, here, wherever you are in the physical, wherever you are in the mental, wherever you are in the spiritual. You are supposed to be here. That makes me feel aligned. No expectation, no desire, no yearning. Wholeness, peace, awareness, consciousness. I'm like tapping my heart. Look at that. Look at that. You see how we do things unconsciously? Tapping our heart. You tap your heart. You're activating your heart center. Bruh. Notice yourselves. Notice yourselves. I am Shibi. I love this platform, each and every one. Much love. Loving this space. Jashan. Indeed. Wow. It's so interesting how our conversations just end up flowing. We had a topic, but then we ended up talking about the purpose of life, the contradictions of life, of being a human being. That I really wish I could remember. Something along the lines of recognizing that who you are is what you're supposed to be. That you already are who you're it's like recognizing that what you already are is who you're supposed to be. I'm going to find that quote for y'all. I'm going to find it so you guys can know. I set my intention. It will be found and I will share it. I didn't know that. Learn something new every day. What do you think the purpose of life is? What do I think the purpose of life is? So simple. I tell myself it's to live. Like, and I guess what does living mean to me? It's very closely related to Eckhart, but it's to live. It's to experience what this moment is offering us in the moment. So if we are having if there is an emotion, whatever it is on the spectrum of emotions, feel it, notice it, acknowledge it. Like, feel it, acknowledge it, notice it. We're here to live. We're here to be here in the physical. And that's something that like it continues to arise with me. Funny story. I don't know if any of y'all have ever used the app. It's called Randonaut or Randonautica. It's one of those apps where you set an intention and it gives you the coordinates to a mystery spot, like physically. Like you set an intention and then it gives you these coordinates and you drive to a specific spot. All right. This is for the explorers. I'm just bringing it up. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it. Let me know in the chat. It's called Rando. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's called Randonautica, the world's first quantumly generated reality game. Explore the world you never knew existed. So I was very sad one day, and I put it in, something to make me feel better, right? And I set my intention and it gave me coordinates and I drove to this spot. And I was driving in this neighborhood. It was daytime and there is this fence. And somebody had created this very beautiful, like, you know how people put cups inside of a fence to create either words or maybe a design? No, I think it was a mixture of cups and lights, whatever it was. I think it was mostly lights too, like Christmas lights, but it was people holding hands with the symbol of earth and it said home on it. And I looked at that and I was like, wow, I'm supposed to be here. Right? And I know it sounds so simple, my answer, but I find that the big purpose of life is to like experience all of this stuff, to experience the spectrum of emotions, to experience thoughts, to have all these things that we come with, that we feel are problems. Like, that's the purpose, like to experience it. And then ultimately we end up learning how to shift our relationships with our experiences, right? Everything that what everyone said here, like I I felt that, like it aligns with that, right? Yeah, love it. Love it, right? So that's why I say, y'all, like, Earth is our home. There are moments when we're like, yo, get me out of here. But like, yo, we're supposed to be here and enjoy it to the fullest, right? Like, enjoy the material wealth, enjoy the spiritual wealth, enjoy it all. We're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be here. One no more valuable than the other. Like, we came here to experience this. This is a part of the separation, right? It's a part of it, right? Cheers to y'all. Hey John, to me means to live as carefree as a cat. Cool cat. Unbarred mind. It's kind of funny that the more you let the personality go and attachment to the mind's drama, the more fulfilling life becomes, minus the drama. Yeah. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Cheers to that, right? Letting it go. Attachment is it. And I think that's I think that's like diving into that statement. It's always the attachment, right? For example, the personality is inevitable, right? That's a part of the separation. We all have different personalities, unique ways of seeing the world. But when we're attached to it, we dive into the mind's drama. We take the mind's drama personally. We forget that we're just here to experience life through this personality, through this unique experience, you know? And when we're aware of that, we don't get caught up in the drama. You're able to be that personality, right? And you're able to also just be. You can be as cool as a cat. And you can enjoy your life. We're not all gonna like the same things, right? So that's how I see it. It's that attachment, like, no more drama, no more attachment. Where I'm just gonna notice. I'm gonna be cool as a cat. I'm just gonna notice. Just notice. Just observe. Non-reactivity, non-judgment. We're vibing. We're chilling. We're flowing with the universe. We're going in the cycle of yin and yang, the ebb and flow. You guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. Yo, love to the chat. Gratitude to the chat. The energy is awesome. I love this. I see we love the deep talks. We love the deep talks here on Here Now Live. Thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. Alrighty. Everyone's... Oh, wait, no. Gratitude. Gratitude time. Gratitude. Let me know in the chat what you're grateful for today. What are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for today? Peace and love to the chat. Let's go. I am grateful for diving into... Is this really complex what we're talking about? I'm grateful for diving into talks about the nature of reality in Here Now Live. That's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for talking about the purpose of life in Here Now Live and seeing everyone's perspective. That's what I'm grateful for. It's been great observing everyone's insights. Indeed. I feel that. Lavender. We're using lavender today. I am Shibi. I am the source power for everything in my reality. I am a power plant. Gratitude. I'm grateful, unbarred mind. I'm grateful for just being in this current moment, in this space right now. I'm grateful for my family, Grateful for my life, my essence, and the Here Now live stream. Eddie. Ronan, grateful for this conversation. Yo, conversation is my love language, y'all. I mean, if you couldn't tell. If you couldn't tell. Shout out to conversation. Shout out to the sharing of ideas. Shout out to unique expression. Shout out to personalities. Shout out to separation. I know it gets a bad reputation. I know it gets a bad reputation because we forget that we're not separate. That's how it gets it. But when we can embrace it, we can embrace uniqueness. It's everywhere. This is like the expansion of reality. This is like, bro, my mind is diving right now into different bro, my mind is like going here and there. Yes, shout out to y'all. Love it, man. Man, this chat gets more powerful every week. Talk about learning and growing together. There's never enough gratitude. Wherever you are, if you would like to join me in this gratitude ritual, this Here Now Live gratitude ritual, you can light a candle, you can sip a tea, you can grab some sage, some palo santo, you can grab an incense with me, light something, drink something, cheers it up. We're going to honor gratitude and honor this moment. And afterwards, we'll have a moment of stillness. So cheers to all of you. Cheers to this conversation, to the chat. Cheers to observing everyone's insights. Right? Cheers to being a power plant, source power, for everything in our reality. Cheers to this moment. Gratitude for this moment in the space. Gratitude for family, for our lives, for our essence. Gratitude for the Here Now live stream. Gratitude for this conversation. Much love to y'all. Much love. Every moment is a ceremony. Presence is intimacy with all moments. Awareness, connectedness, beingness. Being here, that's presence, y'all. No resistance, just here-ness. Here-ness is a new word that will be added to the Here Now dictionary, okay? Here-ness. Cheers to the homeland. Cheers, much love, much love, much love, much love. Let's take a moment to one conscious breath and give ourselves the opportunity to absorb and integrate all that we just chatted about. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. Bring your awareness to your heart center. And be there. Or be here. It's just nice to be here. It's just nice to be here now. Here-ness. Cheers to here-ness. Here-ness and wholeness. There we go. Loving it. I'm loving it. Bah. Bah. Bah, bah, bah. All right. Tao Te Ching. Gonna flip to a passage within this book. Once again, Tao Te Ching, powerful book. I noticed that it definitely has it's like a theme around leadership and society and community. That's what I really noticed. Like, it talks a lot. The passages we have been getting have been a lot around like what a content society looks like, the qualities of a leader that, the leader of a content society, things like that, definitely. So, Tao Te Ching, and I'm going to flip to a page, and whatever we're meant to hear today, we're meant to hear, right? Right? Whatever we're supposed to read in this moment, this is what I'm saying. Whatever we read, whatever I flip to, whatever is read, we're meant to hear it. We're meant to hear it. You are where you're supposed to be. You are. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it might be, physically. You are where you're supposed to be. What's the meaning of Tao Te Ching? It's a great question. Tao Te Ching is a series of meditation. Oh, we got it here. You ready? You ready? Tao Te Ching is a series of meditations on the mysterious nature of the Tao. The way, the light, the very source of all existence. Thank you for bringing that up, I am Shibi. Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching. So in this book, the author Lao Tzu, uses the word Tao as a term to express the very source and all existence of life. So when we talk about consciousness, source, God, whatever it might be, right? Tao, there you go. Great question, Eddie. What does Tao mean to you, right? One powerful aspect of this book is I just love it. I share it with you guys. I share it with all of you all the time, right? The Tao that can be understood is not the eternal cosmic Tao. Just an idea that can be expressed in words is not the infinite idea. We talked about that today, y'all. We talked about that, right? That no individual truly holds the ultimate truth, right? It's a unique expression. It's not to say it's wrong or right. It's a unique expression. If we can relinquish attachment from that, and we can be as still as we can, we recognize, right? We remember the true self, and it's beyond it. There's no word or concept, right? Once again, Buddha says, my words are only pointing to the moon. Tao Te Ching says, the Tao that can be understood is not the eternal cosmic Tao. What? So, man, what does the Tao mean to me? I think it's one of those things where it's what is the purpose of life? Like that energy. But what does the Tao mean to me? Source, right? The light, the way, space, wholeness. And even saying those words, it still doesn't even compete. Like, what? I don't know. Eddie, my b-boy crew was named Thou Clan, and I got into an argument with my homie, and now I'm going to create my own b-boy crew. So it's funny you read that to me. Peace to Thou Clan. Oh, there we go. Cheers to that, Eddie. Cheers to you, Eddie. Cheers to creating your own B-Boy crew. Much love to you, and much love to your homie. All right. Things happen in waves to inspire us to, it seems like that moment right there encouraged you to just do probably what was already in your mind. Challenge you to be a leader. I like that. Thou Clan. All right. I think I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Eddie, if it's Thou Clan or Dow Clan. I'm Shibi. I listened to it on audiobook last week. Nice. Yes. This book is powerful. It's powerful. Unbarred Mind. Which version is that translation? Doesn't contain commentary. So, great question, Unbarred Mind. A new version by Sam Turode. Based on a 1919 translation by Dwight Goddard. There are so many translations of this book. So many translations. I even will grab this book and I'll look up other translations. But yeah, great one. Pronounced thou. Okay, thou. Yeah, I was looking up the pronunciation and I got Dao De Jing, like the Dao, like DAO. So I don't know. Okay. Oh, that was his last name. Got it. It was okay. Gotcha. All right. There we go. That makes it so much better. So it's pronounced Thou, like towel. Used to love that. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for that. Understanding things, translations through the chat. Peace and love to that. So Unbarred Mind, it is translation by Sam Turode. This was the one that was most popular when I got this one on Amazon, so this was the most popular one. But we can always go on the internet and check other translations. So Dao De Jing. What do we need to hear today? Here we go. Listen, where you are is where you're supposed to be. The page we flip to, it's what we need to hear. It's what we need to hear. Who knows? Why did I flip to this particular page in this particular time in this particular live stream? Who knows? Just leave it up to mystery. Meditation 30. Firm, but not forceful. Firm, but not forceful. When rulers follow the Tao, they have no need for armies to strengthen their country. Their country is strong because its government is a blessing to all. Briars and thorns spring up whenever an army camps. Great wars are followed by bad harvest. Good rulers are firm, but they dare not take by force. They are firm, but not boastful. Firm, but not haughty. Firm, but not arrogant. Firm, but not yielding to the unavoidable. Firm, but not resorting to violence. When rulers resort to force, things flourish for a time, but then decay. They are going against the Tao, and anything opposed to the Tao will soon die. I want to read this part of the back of the book, right? According to Lao Tzu, the Tao is found where we would least expect it. Oh, we kind of talked about that, right? Not in the strong, but in the weak. It's in our surrender. Not the weak. The weak. Surrender isn't weak. It's interesting, the language, the verbiage that's used. They say weak. I would say maybe even that aspect of suffering. Sometimes we have to suffer. Many stories come out of suffering. Anyway, many of our greatest awakenings come out of suffering. And maybe that's my translation. But here we go. Not in the strong, but in the weak. Not in speech, but in silence. Not in doing, but in non-doing. Not doing. Silence, not doing. I personally wouldn't use the word weak. I would use something else. Not in the strong, but in the weak. Interesting. Okay, I see. There's a couple know about this book. Yes, I have heard of Neville Goddard. Let me double check. I get asked that so much. I think I have done some research on Neville Goddard. Let me see how much. Does Neville Goddard believe in God? Therefore, Goddard did not believe in an external God who answers prayers, but rather that every human being is God, individualized as that person. You are the creator. Yes. I mean, I would say I'm in line with that, for sure. Neville Goddard. Have I read one of his books? Hold on, let me see. I forget sometimes. I know that, like, I have consumed Neville Goddard's teachings and things like that, but I haven't done it like for such a long amount of time. And I also get asked about that a lot. I know that Neville Goddard has a lot of amazing books. And I just feel like I read a book and I just forgot it. I forget certain books that I read. Oh, okay. Do you want to hear this is the purpose of life from Neville Goddard. Just going to read it really quick. The purpose of life is the creative realization of desire. Ooh. Solutions, seeking to gratify desire, felt within its limits to make it natural. Yo, I love that question. Asking different people what they think the purpose of life is. I love that. Dao De Jing, are all the same. I'm bored. Mine trying to explain the Tao is like trying to explain awakening. You just can't do it with words. You can point to what it's like, but it has to be experienced in one's own life personally. There we go. Thank you for that. Where can I get that book? Eddie! You can get it on Amazon. I do have a book list. It's linked in the description of this live and all of the other lives too. I have a book list and I put this book in that book list with all the other books that inspired me. So you can get it on Amazon and you can use the link there. Use the link. You help out this channel a little bit too. It's on there. I don't know other places. Not sure if like Barnes and Noble has it, things like that. But specifically, I personally got this book from Amazon. So, yeah, it's nice. And I love reading it to everyone. It's so cool. Blossom V. So glad there's translation into English. Ancient Chinese is too complicated for many Chinese to understand. Ah, okay. Yeah, because I would definitely think that this was first like a Chinese, right? Eastern philosophy, Eastern spirituality. On Bard Mind, I've been binging on Rev Ike's videos here on YouTube. Rumor has it he was a student of Neville. Ah, he was spot on. Thanks, Eddie. Much love. All right, I'll get it from your link. Yes, I want to take this time too to say thank you to everyone who supports this channel in any way possible. being here on this live, liking, commenting, participating in the community page, answering the little survey questions, likes, things like that. Much love. And any super chats, any donations. I appreciate the energy exchange. I do. And thank you for your awareness and your energy of what you put into this channel. It's definitely been beautiful to see it grow. Hey John, is Tao means ultimate reality? So based on the book, this part, it says that the Tao, so the Tao Te Ching is a series of meditations on the mysterious nature of the Tao. So they say the Tao is the way, the light, the very source of all existence. So I would say the Tao, the source of all existence. That's what the meaning is, the source of all existence. Rev Ike had several people he studied from. Check on Rev Ike. An American minister, evangelist, based in New York. It's American. Ooh, Rev Ike. Did Rev Ike believe in God? Rev Ike told the New York Times in 1972 that he initially believed what he heard about heaven and hell. But now, he said, at the time, I'm not frustrated by trying to please some tyrannic kind of God in the sky. I'm not deferring anything. I'm enjoying the totality of goodness now. Enjoying the totality of goodness now. Very nice. I'm going to get that book and The Art of War by Lao Tzu. Cheers to you, Eddie. I like that. Yeah, I actually heard about The Art of War. That's another popular book. There's so many books I have to read. It's insane. Yep, I love it. I've been very interested lately in a lot of Eastern philosophy and spirituality, whatever one might put it under the genre of. I have been very interested in that. Thank you all for that. Tao Te Ching, that was meditation 30, firm but not forceful. Cheers to that. All right, Tay, it's 9:10. It's 9:10 EST over here. Once again, much gratitude for the space, for the Here Now Live space. Thank you for being here. Thank yourselves for being here. You can be anywhere else, but you're here. We're talking about the very source of existence here. We're talking about separation, personality. We are going in about deep and spiritual, philosophical conversations, and grateful for the space of openness, of vulnerability, of learning, of uncertainty, of curiosity. Gratitude for that. And yeah. Yes. He believes that God lives in us, through us, as us. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you, I Am Shibi. And Unbarred Mind. The Book of Five Rings is also a good one. He believed that God lives in us, through us, as us. I am Shibi. I like that very simple, God lives in us, through us, as us. It's very simple, right? Before we dive into our guided meditation, that question, I'm sure, if many of you go on and, you share these ideas that we talk about right here in this chat to others, you might have been asked the question, do you believe in God? I get asked the same thing a lot. And it's a great question, because it really hones in onto your relationship of God, right? Of source, the Tao, consciousness, right? It really gets into that. And I kind of talked to you all about belief, but when it comes to me and in my experience, belief isn't necessary. I don't need to believe, because I experience and I know, so there's no need to believe. And consciousness living life through all of us, right? God lives in us, as us, in us, through us, as us. That's me. I think we all have our own forms or way of verbally of expressing it, and maybe if you don't, it could be a moment for you to consider it if you feel called to. Those are great questions. Great questions. And I really like honing in on, does so-and-so believe in God? And if they don't, what do they say? Ike's material is awesome. Going through his health, joy, and prosperity course now. Nice. All right. Definitely I shall check a little bit more out from Rev Ike. I will check more out from Rev Ike. Thank you, y'all. Eddie, I believe God is parameter. A parameter. He talks to everyone, in which every way their spirit moves or how they think. Thank you. Thank you, Eddie. All right, you know what I'm going to do this? This is going to be it, all right? Once I'm going to ask this question, and then we'll dive into a guided meditation. It's a gratitude meditation. Gratitude meditation. Do you believe in God? Let me know in the chat. I see Eddie shared with us. Do you believe in God? Let me know in the chat. Yes, 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 exactly. Okay. All right, and then I'll extend it and say, in your words, how would you express God? How would you express God? Is there another word that you use other than God too? You can answer any of these questions. Any of it, doesn't matter. Is there another word you use? Do you use source? Do you use consciousness? Do you say God? Tao, the way, the light? And how would you express it? How would you express it? There's only God, energy. All right. Thank you, Mystic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all your responses. Unbarred mind. God is such a loaded word, depending on your belief system. I do believe in a loving, organizing intelligence, guiding the universe. I believe in God in that sense, as that definition. There is no you or me as the identity, but there is only God. Eddie, I believe God is a parameter, as in we are within the God. And the more our spatial awareness opens up, God shows itself through its parameters as an invisible God is the whole, and we are all spirits expressing God. I am Shibi. Source is in all of us, and we are gods a piece of source. Ajon. God is present moments. God is present moment awareness in man. Eddie. And I feel in this world everyone worships power. Whoever shows power, we magnetize to it. Whoever worships power, we magnetize to it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Now this brings us in to meditation. I'm going to do a meditation. It's going to be a gratitude meditation. Just a moment for us to, two things, stillness and gratitude. Stillness and gratitude. Wherever you are, find yourself in a comfortable position. You can be upright or lying down. Whatever allows you to remain alert and aware. Above thought instead of falling below thought. Falling asleep. Notice any tension within the body. Relax your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Your entire face. Relax your shoulders, your hands, your feet, all your limbs. Allow your Buddha belly to be free. And take this moment to follow the natural inhalation and exhalation of your breath. Take one conscious breath in, one conscious breath out. Bring your awareness to your heart center and be there. When you live in a state of gratitude, you are no longer prone to a state of suffering. Suffering exists within the limits of the mind. Suffering is a lack of presence, devoid of awareness, consciousness, space, stillness, silence. When consciously shifting to gratitude, you expand your present moment awareness. You accept the now as it is. You accept you as you are. You shift into a state of being. Being. Aligned. Aligned with all there is. With Source. Creation. God. Whatever you might call it. Gratitude. Take this moment to thank yourself. Give gratitude for yourself. First, give gratitude to yourself for showing up today. Whatever showing up means to you. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up. And allow whatever visions arise in the moment to arise around the idea of showing up. Now take this moment to thank yourselves for taking care of your mental body, your mental energy, your mind. Thank yourself and allow whatever needs to arise to arise. Take this moment to thank yourself for taking care of your emotions, emotional body, emotional energy. Thank yourself and allow whatever needs to arise, allow it to arise. Thank yourself. Take this moment to thank yourself for taking care of your spirit. Whatever that might mean or look like for you. Take this moment to thank yourself and allow whatever needs to arise to arise. Thank yourself for the kindness and love you show yourself. Allow whatever that needs to arise in this moment and be there with it. Take this moment to thank the kindness that you show to others, the patience you show to others, the empathy and understanding you show to others. Thank yourself and allow whatever needs to arise to arise. I encourage you to invite this practice into your day-to-day. When we thank ourselves, we're less likely to judge ourselves. We're more likely to accept the moment as it is and notice all that already exists in our life. When we thank ourselves, we live in a state of gratitude, where all we see is everything that is. How we be is aligned with the now, aware of our being. Aware of our essence, aware of Source. Awareness is love. Whatever you bring your awareness to, you give love to. Awareness is life. Whatever you give your awareness to, you give life to. Breath is life. When you give your awareness to breath, you give your awareness to life. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. And thank yourself once again for this practice. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, open your eyes, and return when you're ready. Thank you all for joining me in that meditation. Jason, powerful meditation. Thank you. Much love. Sean, heart, heart, heart. Much love back to you. Rikai, sounds like a xylophone. It's a steel tongue drum. Pretty cool. Very lullaby-like, huh? Yes, indeed. I am glad you all enjoyed the meditation. We'll do some more of that. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'll be here once again next Sunday at 7 p.m. right here in the homeland. This Tuesday, I'll be on Instagram at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And TikTok, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Here Now Live. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the Here Now Nomads that come along and join the Here Now Lives on the different platforms. The conversation is always different. Although the topics are the same, the conversation is always different, and I appreciate that experience. I'm Shivi, much love, much love. Eddie. Name Abdullah. Thank you for that, Eddie. Jason, thank you, Here Now Live community. Much love. Thank you all. Much love to the chat. Much love to the space. I'm sending you all peace, love, wholeness, and continued presence. Live in a state of gratitude. Peace, peace, peace. Until next time. I will check them out. Peace and love, peace and love, peace.